Peace. Welcome to Akashic Sketches by the God, the Intuitive Hand. Today we're going to be diving into the mental plane. What does the mental plane look like from an intuitive psychic perspective? So we're going to go into diving into what the mental plane looks like from a psychic perspective. The mental plane. The mental plane is the plane where all consciousness exists and all fuel for thought. And on the mental plane, we see spheres, various different spheres. These spheres, or these rings represent states of consciousness and vibratory states of consciousness. It's coming in to me as rings. And these different rings are rings or bands of consciousness, or different planes of consciousness. And these planes show forth the different vibratory frequencies that different thought patterns that we have can operate on and from. And each one of these planes surround our head, our 6th and 7th chakras. The 3rd eye, ajna, the 6th chakra, as well as the 7th chakra, the crown chakra. And these different planes operate on different frequencies. And from these different frequencies, the individual has the capability of tapping into these different frequencies in order to gain different insight. All knowingness in the universe is available to each one of us. The thing is that each person does not necessarily have the insight or the meditative practice in order to tap into it. The meditation allows for us to be able to dive into these things. But what's coming in right now is these 3 rings of consciousness. And out of these 3 rings of consciousness lies the head of the individual. And from these different realms of consciousness, we're able to tap into various planes of existence and various planes of consciousness and knowledge and wisdom from the universe, from the cosmos. This rose is coming in, stemming out of the planes. And this rose represents a foundation, a foundative step for us to be able to have a foundation or a platform to stand on. And the rose is representative of that ability to stand on the various planes of consciousness. These planes of consciousness are coming in at different frequencies, like they're moving so fast. It's like a swirl. Coming in as a swirl. These planes of consciousness have different degrees of information. Some of the information is information about past lives. Some of the information that's coming in is about information about the future. Some of the information that's coming in is about the digesting of what's taking place right here in the present. How the present moment is affecting everything right now that will come. What's coming in right now is the head being actually a plant itself. The head being an extension of the plant, representing how we are all plants. And we have stems, and the stems are the different areas of life that have cultivated us. You know, our foundation in this lifetime. That's our stem. Parents, family, environment that we come from is the stem. That's why the head is coming in right now to my vision as a stem. We are all cosmic plants, universal plants that have many different degrees of cultivation from the universe, not just planet Earth, but we've able to cultivate ourselves from various different areas and planes and within the universe. And so we are plants. It's almost like these planes of existence almost act like a cosmic hat, like a hat that we wear on our heads to receive information from the universe. And as we receive information or energy into our crown chakra from the universe, that information comes down into our mental plane, into our receivers. And it comes in the form of divine insight or intuition of some sort, an automatic knowingness without necessarily having to study or read anything. It's just it's a gnosis that just comes to you. These is the powers of our intuitive abilities as beings. Remember, the verbal language is a very new language. Before we spoke verbal languages, you know, we were very, very psychic and telepathic. And we still are. It's just that a lot of times that information has been suppressed. And so this vortex here, I'm seeing this vortex of energy that encapsulates the energy It's like a net of energy that's bringing in all of the information right down in the, it's like it's coming down. It's like a net. It's coming in and bringing in all of this insight right into the head. And these are different degrees of how everything comes into play on the mental plane, the plane of the mind, and how information and insight, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding comes to the being. This is what it looks like in my mind as I'm drawing it and sketching it out. This is one way that it can come. This plane right here represents the mental plane's assessment of the physical plane. How you on the mental plane assess surviving and interacting on the physical plane. This is the mental assessment of that. That's what this first layer is representing. The assessing of physical existence, physical subsistence, and surviving and operating in a manner to sustain yourself on the physical plane. This plane right here is representing the creativity that one utilizes in order to do that. Because we all are creative beings and we all have different ways of approaching life and the way that we experience it and indulge in it. And so that second plane is representative of that. And this third ring, third plane, this one is symbolic of the most, this represents the flow, when the human being taps into flow state. It's kind of like Neo when he was fighting the agent and he was just tapping into flow state. He was responding to every move that the agent made in such of a calm, poised, and grounded manner. And so this plane is representative of that type of flow state, that type of groundedness, even when we go into the higher planes. Because as we go into the higher planes of existence, the more grounding we need in order to sustain ourselves at the higher altitudes, not just on the physical plane, but also on the mental plane. You got to stay grounded. What color do we want our rose? This rose is coming in to me. I'm seeing pink rose. Rose is coming in at a pink. I'm seeing a pink rose. The vortex of energy, all of the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that one can gain from the universe. Because we are one and the same and connected with the portal of the source to be able to tap into anything that you want to know. If you want to know about what happened in 1947, you can tap into the mental plane and find out yourself. If you want to know what happened in 1983, you can tap into the mental plane and find out yourself. You have the ability to find these things out on your own. If we want to know what's going on Mars, we can tap into the mental plane through meditation and tapping into the 6th and 7th chakras. These chakras are planes of energy, are portals of energy that we can tap into and know and find out and tap into various different degrees of universal knowledge. This is not taught to the average person. It's not taught to us at all in any way, unless you seek this information out. Because if everybody was walking around on planet Earth with a free mind, that would be very, very dangerous to the establishment. And there we have it, the mental plane and our relationship with it. Thank you all for tuning in on today's episode of the Akashic Sketches by the Intuitive Hand. The mental plane. There we have it. Thank you all for tapping into. Thank you all for tapping in. And there we have it. Thank you all for tapping into and there we have it. Thank you all for tapping into the Akashic Sketches by the Intuitive Hand. This sketch will be available for sale on my website. I'll get that up and moving. And yeah, this will be available to the public. And hey, man, let us keep going on and tapping into the universe and keep expanding our awareness and consciousness. That is the best way to be free, for the mind is ultimate freedom. Remember, meditation is the gateway to the soul. Peace.